What's up, guys? Atapark here, and today I want to talk to you guys about holding your Raiders' hands. So, I had a disagreement, a very long term, a very consistent, almost every raid night disagreement with a former officer of mine, where we had very opposing views when it came to call outs during a raid. His mindset was one of the raid leader and the leadership for the guild or the group or the raid should call out everything. Meaning, let's take Scorpion, for example, and Nighthold, that they will call out when ads are coming every single time. They'll call out when every single shockwave is coming. They're going to call out, obviously, when people get knocked back and more ads are coming for Scorpion. They're going to call out every Arcano Slash. They're going to call out every debuff for that. They're going to call out every single exoskeleton vulnerability, maybe Wind and Bloodlust. They're going to call out every time Focus Blast is cast. They're going to even attempt to call out the people that are going to get hit by Focus Blast. They're going to call out if someone's low health and needs a cooldown, needs an external, needs to be healed up. Hey, get this guy up. They're going to call out everything. And this is while doing your role, whatever it may be, take healer, DPS, to the maximum ability that everyone else is doing it, right? So you're expected to do your normal job and call all these things out. My stance was the complete opposite, that the raid leader should call out big issues. That someone did in Scorpion get knocked back and ads are incoming. Or, hey, we need to battle res this guy. Or, hey, let's go ahead and lust here or at this percentage or when this happens. And we went back and forth. Like I said, guys, it was a constant every night thing. Every single raid night, it was a constant back and forth. Because we had completely different viewpoints on it. And it's very easy for a number of reasons that I'm going to let you guys know about to not do this. And in the short term, it helped. We did it. I went along with it. He was very passionate about, calling everything out, making sure everything was called out, regardless of how infinitesimally small it was, and regardless of how many times you've killed the boss before. It didn't matter if we were in Mythic, and we were in Mythic Emerald Nightmare. If we went back and on an off night, or maybe we wanted to clear, or we were gearing up an all, or whatever, and we were normal, he still wanted it to be called out. And in the short term, it helped. People focused on me calling things out. When I said move out of something, people moved. When, a big thing was coming, ads are coming, somebody got knocked back, more ads are coming, bloodlust, things moved. And it was great. People knew what was going on. Nobody was surprised about anything. The problem, though, and the long-term ramifications for this made it so much worse and so much bigger of a problem than what he, I think, initially thought it would be, and what he, as we were going along, realized it was. One, it means that someone has to call out everything. Like I said, not just the big stuff, but every single spell, every single movement, every single everything. Like literally a commentator of the entire raid. And there was a comment made several times of, I wish Blizzard had some type of spectator mode, which would be neat. I think that would be a neat option, a neat feature for the game, but not simply to watch what your guild is doing, but to be that guy on Vent, Discord, whatever, that is calling things out. And that means that someone, which generally ended up being me, had to stare at the DBM bars. Whether it's DBM or bigwigs, doesn't matter. I was staring at bars. It meant that my performance is going to suffer. I'm focusing 90% on DBM bars, calling things out, figuring out, okay, we have 10 seconds to do this, and 5 seconds, and 30 seconds. I'm focusing on bars. I'm not paying attention to my rotation, or I'm not paying attention to, small movement that can make big ripples in the raid and figure out what's going on. I'm just not seeing it. It also means that if bad things happen, if somebody, 2 or 3 people get knocked back on Scorpion, they shouldn't be, but hypothetically, somebody gets knocked back, it means that if I need to pick up a lot of ads, if the tank, my co-tank dies, if something happens and I'm not looking at the bars because there's an oh shit moment, things aren't getting called out at all. And that means that those that were relying on my call outs, which again was everybody or a good majority of them, they were lost. They weren't staring at DBM. They weren't glancing at DBM. They weren't sure of the timers. Why would you even worry about it? I'm here calling things out. Who cares? It meant that Discord, Vent, whichever chat program we were using at the time was always going. Always. It means that if something happened, others weren't able to call it out, or they'd have to call it out 2 or 3 times because I'm sitting here yapping. It meant that the other tank, if he had too many debuffs, if, his cooldown went off early or, whatever, he wasn't able to say anything because I'm still talking over top of him. It meant that the whole raid for the entire night has to hear me talk. It means that no one else is able to talk about normal stuff. Especially if you have a boss on farm, you don't need to worry about timers. It's easy peasy. How was your day? What was the movie, that you went to see the other night like? Was it good? Would you suggest it? Hey, what other games should we play? Doesn't matter. Never got a chance to talk about it. Those integral things, those integral social moments where you're not worried about progression because you're getting there or you're just cleaning up for the week or it's an alt run. Those things aren't happening. And it meant that at the end of the night, every night, and we're talking 3 hours, 3 nights a week, I'm exhausted. I know if you guys go back, and I'm sure some of you have picked up on it, I try to keep it to a minimum, but, when you talk for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, I do my best not to do this, but you get a little yawn in you, especially when you're recording super late at night. So to do this 3 nights a week, I get tired. I was getting so tired, like to the point where it's headaches and my face hurt, my jaw hurt, my throat hurt, and I didn't want to record videos. I knew I had to. I knew I wanted to, but I didn't want to, if that makes sense. Like, I knew I should, and I wanted to, like my heart wanted to, but my body was like, oh, you're just so damn tired. And it was just not working out. So the good and bad news is that we parted ways. We parted ways here recently, somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 6 weeks ago. And it was, I think, the best thing that could happen for both parties. There were things that he wasn't doing that, I had asked him to do that I needed, that I wanted from him. And there were things that he wasn't getting from me. And there's a whole, big thing about this. And to be clear, I'm not talking shit. Because this gentleman, he brought a lot to my guild. He brought a lot to the raid. Not only a great personality, but he brought a very strong, firm leadership style. However, he also brought with it a lot of negative qualities, a very, over time, very cancerous attitude. Over time, a little bit manipulative. Over time, he was not what was best for the guild. And I respect him for the great things that he did because there were a lot. But I think for both of our collective sanities, it was best for us to split ways. And so I had to find people that would support me and were able to, not only willing, but able to support me. There are people out there, and we've talked about this, that want to be a raid leader and they want to be an officer in the guild, but they're not cut out for it. And I had to find leaders that were able to support me. And I found them, and we had talked about a problem that we were having in the guild. And it was one of the problems and one of the reasons why this guy left, where we just said, you know what, it's not working out for either one of us. We got to part ways. And the problem was that people were standing in bad shit. People were dying too. They were standing in fire. They were standing in bad crap. They weren't getting, raid mechanics out. And it was the same people. It was the same 2, 3, 4 people every single night. And that was one of the first, things that, topics that I talked to these guys about is, hey, you guys are my new officers, and I promoted 2 of them, and I said, here's what I need. I need you guys to help me figure out what to do about these 3 or 4 people that are dying to fire every night. And the solution that we came up with was fairly simple. Stop calling stuff out. 100% stop it. Do not do it anymore. Doesn't matter if it is, anything. Big, small, we're not calling it out. Don't care. Doesn't matter. And what we noticed was people started being vocal about things. Hey, when is this coming out? Or they stopped standing in fire because they were paying more attention to these things. I wasn't telling them, hey, move out of the fire. They were going, oh shit, I'm standing in this stuff. And we knew the solution was stop calling things out. If they continued to die, we would pull them aside and talk to them. And if they continued after that, they kind of got, the 1 strike. And then after that, no longer in the raid. And again, people stopped standing in crap. And people started being more vocal. My co-tank started calling things out a little bit less than what I prefer he call things out, but he did it. And other people started calling out raid mechanics. Hey, shockwave's coming for Scorpion. Get behind cover. Hey, this big thing is coming out. Make sure you guys are ready for it. And that, along with not spending 9 hours a week talking nonstop, meant my stress level went down hugely. Like, so much better. And I was able to focus on my job, on tanking, and make small improvements and talk to the raid, and we were able to be social, and I started to enjoy myself again. So what I'm getting at here is, in the grand scheme of things, for big call outs, somebody got knocked back in ads, extra ads are incoming. Hey, let's go in Bloodlust here. Cool. Go ahead and call that stuff out. Your job, and I will repeat this a bazillion more times in a bazillion more videos that I make for you guys, is the job of the raid leader is many different responsibilities, but one of them is to make sure that there is a smooth amount of progress being made. Doesn't mean that every pull that you are going to kill a boss. That doesn't mean that. But it means that there is progress being made. It doesn't mean that they are holding your hand for every single call out. Because for progress to be made, I need to be able to do my job. I need to be able to focus on other things. To focus on, maybe something is going on the other side of my screen away from my DBM bars that I'm not able to see. Maybe because I'm staring at them, I'm not able to, I'm not processing, hey, maybe we should fine tune this one element of the encounter based on our group. I'm just not seeing it. So if you guys find yourself in a similar situation where you have players that are standing in bad stuff, if you find that you are literally, figuratively, holding your raiders' hands, if you're making every single call out, hey, move from this, get out of that, move into this, switch to that, stop doing it. Don't hold your players' hands to the point where they rely solely on you instead of themselves. Because the raiders short term are going to enjoy it. Long term, like I said, they're going to come to rely on that voice. They're going to become reliant on you calling things out. And they're all adults. Even if you are 12, 13, 14 years old playing WoW in a guild, you're an adult. You need to act like an adult, not a baby. That means that you should have and should be able to follow along with DBM bigwigs or be able to figure out, and I've had several players that are able to do this, play without DBM because they are able to know, the animations and how the boss moves and this, that, and the other, and they don't get hit by crap. And the simple fact is, other raiders in the world are able to do this without the raid leader calling things out. So we can do it too. And I'll tell you guys, one of the biggest things that impressed me, and I remember seeing this, was I think it was Method Midwinter. I'm not sure what, one of the big name guilds. They released a mythic Archimon kill video. It was on MMO Champion. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about if you were around during that time of WoW. But I remember how quiet the video was. There was techno music playing or whatever, and different points of view, and it was cool, but it was very quiet. There were a few call outs. And then, of course, after Archimon dies, it's, cheering and woohoo and fuck yeah and all this stuff. But go back and watch that video. There's nobody making call outs, no big call outs. There's nobody constantly talking. If they can do it, we can do it. Even if we're not doing it on Mythic. If we're doing it on Normal, we're doing it on Heroic, we can do it. With that being said, guys, hopefully you like what I'm saying here. If you find yourself in a similar situation, let me know how you would have fine-tuned things. What call would you have made? If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That lets me know a great deal, more than you guys ever will understand, ever will know, that you enjoy my content and you want more like it. If you have a question, comment, concern, if there's something you don't like, say something in the comment section below. Help me improve and make this channel what you guys want to see. Make it so that you see a new video pop up and it's something that you guys want to watch. Until next time, guys, I'll see ya.